She's actually what we call a dietitian. All right. And the way we have Legal Tuesdays on Tuesday, let's take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. It is Wellness Wednesday with Ashley. So we have in studio Ashley Kiboda. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be back.
And you know, she's just a bundle of energy.
Yes.
She's a dynamo, by the way.
She has a lot of energy.
This is my passion.
A lot of energy.
Science-based nutrition, yes.
I like that. Science-based nutrition. Now, Ashley, for the uninitiated, please reintroduce yourself, lady.
Okay. So my name is Ashley, registered dietitian. So I have been practicing for 15 years. I have a Bachelor's of Science degree back in the United States where I'm from. And then I am board certified there as well as board certified in Kenya. So basically what that means is everything I talk about is based on science, and it cannot be my opinion, it cannot be a fad or a trend. It has to be rooted in science and academia and research studies, you know, medical evidence-based, things like that. So we have a lot of chaos and noise out there and recommendations, especially this time of year. But again, I really am mandated to stick to the science-based approach to empower you so you can make the best choices for yourselves and your families.
Can science be wrong sometimes?
So science is a very good question. So science is always changing. We're always learning from it. New studies are coming out. So that's why, as a practitioner, I have to do continuing education every single year to maintain my license, both in the U.S. and in Kenya. So yes, we're always learning, and we have to accept that. So, you know, staying up to date and relevant is also very, very important.
Okay.
You've got to love a preamble. Good one. Hold on. So one more time, by the way. Good job there. It's like she does that a lot.
Yes. She gets that a lot.
Okay, so, you know, Ashley and Mariam, you know, I'm part of groups, obviously.
Yeah.
And some of them are just male-centric, Ashley.
Yeah.
And guys talk about, 2025, man. And fat.
Yes.
And what?
And fat.
And fat. So hit the gym, or at the very best, exercise in your digs. Okay? But also, diet is king, diet is key. Okay? And for us guys, my gents, it's all about fasting.
That's what a lot of people are doing right now, men and women, but especially men.
Exactly.
That's what I'm seeing, yes.
Intermittent fasting.
Yes.
I'm like, what's that all about? So you know what? Some guys are like, 72 hours. I'm like, damn. What's that all about?
Yeah.
But you know what? So encapsulating all of that, today we want to talk about fad diets.
Yes.
Now, we're not F-A-T. Maybe we're shripping and striding, but F-A-D. So let's kick it off, Ashley.
Yes.
What is a fad diet?
Yes. So great question. So it's a diet that promises quick and easy results, quick and easy weight loss. You don't have to do physical activity. Sounds too good to be true. Sounds easy. It limits or eliminates entire food groups. Like says, don't have dairy, don't have grains, don't have carbs. Like it's very specific. And then a lot of times you're given a sheet that says these foods are acceptable or these foods are good. These foods are bad. So a lot of those things are what encompass a fad diet. And, you know, there's always new ones coming out all the time.
Right.
And that's because they don't work.
Exactly.
So does it mean that it takes off the unhealthy carbs, for example, and replaces with healthy carbs when they're advising on the diet?
So it depends on the fad diet. So many times it's not rooted in science, period. So a lot of times there's not a science-based logic behind them. And we're going to get into some of that and really talk about what is the science, because so many of them that I'm just rolling through my head just don't make sense. You know, for example, the paleo diet, right? So it says grain-free. So they completely eliminate grains. Well, that's not based on science. And then they say have coconut oil. Well, that's not also based on science. And then they say this is how the cavemen ate.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
how long?
Yes.
How long did they live? 20 years. So why would we mimic something that they did and only lived to be 20? Excuse me?
Okay, so
and what quality of life is that? And one more thing, if we actually look at science and history, were they getting grass-fed beef 3 times a day? No, they were actually hunters and gatherers. They were
exactly.
nomadic.
Yes,
They didn't have
yes.
grass-fed beef all the time.
Yes.
And I promise they weren't having coconut oil like is recommended in the
Yes,
diet
yes.
unless you lived in a tropical region.
Wow.
So again, so much of this just doesn't make logical sense, and it's not rooted in science.
You know, and it's like she's in this. It's like she's in those WhatsApp groups of mine, by the way. Because
Yes,
guys are like, you know
amazing.
what? You know what? I didn't know. Yes, it's protein. It's a meat diet. You know, I'm like, okay. So before we talk about the types of diets, let's be clear. Most people diet why?
They diet to lose weight.
To lose weight, right?
Yes.
Now, there's one particular, and it's fashionable, and I was actually shocked, and I was like, wow, I actually underestimated our African brethren and sisters, because Ozempic.
Yes.
So before we talk about the fad diets, let's talk about some of these things that people are, especially and I don't want to be sexist, but mainly women are using to lose weight.
There's a lot of pressure on women
Right.
from men, to be honest, to
yes.
look a certain way.
Right.
And so I think that's why women are always dieting. I think that's a big piece of it, right? So yes, you are, correct in that many times women are moving towards these things.
Right. What is Ozempic? And Kumbe, it's also here in Kenya.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So this is actually a drug that is used for people with diabetes. And then they found that those people are losing weight. So now people decided, hey, let me take this as an easy fix to lose weight. Now, I'm not going to comment too much on it because this is something that you
Are
should
you
discuss.
aware of this?
Yes, I am.
That
Okay,
we
okay.
should
I am, and I'm
discuss
very concerned about it.
with our
actually.
doctor,
Right.
because again, we need to look at the big picture. What are the benefits? What are the risks? And assess them for your own individual health status. So that's very important. And then, the other thing too is fine if you've decided you're going to take this, you have to also look at and not just say I can eat whatever I want and I'm just going to take this injection.
Sure.
No, we need to look at the holistic approach to wellness. How is my gut health? How are my bowel movements? How is my sleep? How is my stress? Am I building muscle? Am I exercising? Having these quick fixes sometimes, do more damage than good. And again, Ozempic is an individual thing to look at with your doctor and to discuss. But I do want to be very clear. There are side effects.
I like that. Now, that is the shortcut that the wealthy are using. Yeah.
Sometimes, yes. I don't want to say everybody,
Yeah.
yes, but it is, yes, because you can buy it, right?
Right.
Like you can access it in Kenya if you have the money. That is a fact.
What other shortcuts are we using to lose weight aside from that?
So there's a lot of other diet pills that people are trying, and I don't even want to call them shortcuts because they don't work.
Come on.
Like Orlistat, that's another thing I'm hearing
That's
about.
true.
Oh my God, that's from like so long ago.
Yeah.
These things, it's like, where is the efficacy? Where is the science? But
yeah.
it's because these people are feeling so defeated
Sure.
because they have tried so many of these fad diets and
Right.
they're not working.
Sure.
So what are they doing? So they're not doing the correct things to lose weight.
Right.
And so then we get fed up, we get tired, we give up. We're like, oh, fine, let me just do this pill. Let me just do this. Because we haven't been given the proper science-based way to work with our body, not against our body, and to do something sustainable, lifestyle, long-lasting, that
one.
impacts our whole body.
Yes.
Because again, just losing weight doesn't mean you're healthy. Just getting skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. There are so many people that are quote-unquote a healthy weight that have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all these sorts of things. So we also have to get that out of our heads, that being skinny equals healthy. Yes, is there benefits to losing weight if you're overweight? Absolutely. But just being skinny isn't going to give you that. What are you doing to lose that weight? That is where the benefits come. So that's where you do the physical activity, you eat healthy, balanced, you eat all your food groups because it's supporting your entire body, your entire well-being.
I do have a question regarding the slimming pills because I've used some before.
That's honest.
Yes. So what they do, some of them, is that they suppress your appetite. Is that a bad thing?
There's a lot of things I want to say about that because why do we need to suppress our appetite? We should be listening to our body. What is our body telling us? Again, this is a very big thing and there's a lot to it. There's a lot to unpack here, but I would say let's go on a healthy eating pattern. Let's nourish our body. Let's see what our body is saying. Because so many times when I look at the way people are eating, it's no wonder they're having cravings. It's no wonder they're feeling hungry because they're undernourishing their body. And their body is reaching out to say, hey, I need carbs. You've been skipping carbs. Yes, you know, so if you eat good carbs in proper balance with protein, fruits, and vegetables, that's going to help your cravings. So I like to go to the root cause of what is causing this and look at the big picture and not just say, I'm eating too much, my appetite is too strong, let me just take a pill.
A second question on the pills then. Is it wrong to take a pill that helps you to have quicker or faster metabolism?
So there's no such thing.
Is that so? Because
That's not facts. Yeah. So again, a lot of these things are literally made up. They're not rooted in science, and somebody is trying to make money. Okay. I promise you, these are the only things you can do to support your metabolism. Build muscle. Muscle helps you burn calories just sitting in place. The better muscle composition you have, the more likely you are to be a healthy weight. Again, now that's helping our bone strength. That's helping all these other things, right? Sleeping supports your metabolism. Reducing your stress, reducing that cortisol helps your metabolism. Eating regular meals and snacks, getting fiber, getting enough protein, eating the right carbs, not skipping meals. That is what supports your metabolism.
Okay,
There's
building muscle
nothing
means
else.
working out.
Muscle, how do you build muscle is what you're asking?
Yes.
You build muscle by strength training, lifting
Okay,
weights.
good.
And, you know, so what we need to do in order to build more muscle is you constantly have to challenge yourself. So you go to the gym, you start with, 5 kgs. Do that for a couple times. Now, maybe you're doing 10 reps. Now try for 12 reps. Now up the weight to 6 kgs. That is showing that you're building the muscle. But you also can't build muscle without proper nutrition.
Yes. You see, I like what, you know, Mariam, I like what Ashley just said. You know what? You asked her, so building muscle is working out. She said, no, it's lifting weights. And then, you know what, remember growing up?
Yes.
There was that mentality of, you know what? Lazy people are fat people.
Yes, true.
But she says, you know,
Not necessarily.
for your metabolism to work properly, you've got to sleep.
Yes. So, and you got to sleep well. Just
Mm-hmm.
being in your
Yes.
bed, laying awake is not sleeping when
Like
your
that.
mind is racing. You know, I ask people too, are you getting your solid eight hours of sleep a night?
Sharp.
Are you waking up? Yeah, I'm waking up. Are you able to fall back asleep? No, but I'm in my bed 8 hours. That doesn't count as sleep. You know, so we really, again, it's this holistic approach to health and wellness. It is not just about losing weight.
You know, and not because you're from there, but you know, like I was reading today, that DJT, Trump 47.
Yes.
You know, he was I know he's my man.
He's your boy, yeah?
So don't cancel me, actually.
I might.
He was a guy of, I think it was 12 to 18 Diet Cokes a day, and then fast food. Then he had to change his diet, and he, you know, his claim to fame is that he can get by on 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. But you see, exactly what Ashley said. This was this morning, you know. He's got to do the exercise. And of course, he was like, he'd be asked if he has to go to the gym. So he does his, he plays golf. So obviously that's walking.
Enough, yeah.
He likes his golf.
Yes, he likes And then now he's more veggies and fish diet. Yeah, you see what I mean? So yes, and he's lost, I don't know, but, a lot of pounds. You can see also it looks different.
Yes.
And this is from dieting. So I like that sleep is key
It's key.
to your
It is.
metabolism.
It is, absolutely.
Now, let's jump to, the types of diets that they are. And we've got to break them down. And speaking of breaking them down, we want you to get involved in this story. Last week, a lot of people were asking questions after the fact.
Yes.
After the fact being that obviously Ashley had left the building. So when I get onto SpiceFM KE, it is all about the Spice Drive, #Wellness Wednesday. Ashley, what are your handles?
It's .time. Time like the herb, THYME _ You can just search my name, Ashley Kibutha. You'll find it.
Very good. And Mariam, when are you? Don't want to be left out.
At Waweru, Mariam.
Oh, very good. Like the way you guys are quick fast. Or indeed, you can dial that number 0719012600. Are you dieting? Do you know what a fad diet is? let's get to it. Let's start with the types of diets, please, Ashley.
Okay, great. So there's a lot of different fad diets out there. So there's the low carb, high protein. There's the grain free, which is like paleo or Whole30. There's the low fat, no fat. There's the high fat, low carb, like the keto.
Yes.
There's our detoxes, our cleanses, our juices, our smoothie diets, and then there's intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So those are the main types of fad diets out there. And so I think today we're going to break them down one by one.
Yes.
So, we can start with the low carb, high protein.
Yes.
That seems to be a really popular one that people just tend to go on it. Like I'm going to skip, my carbs and I'm just going to focus on vegetables and meat. That's what people tend to do.
It's easy.
Because it's easy and they think carbs are bad for us.
Yes.
Right? So the issue with that is that we're focusing so heavily on protein, we're missing other nutrients. So again, a giant risk of doing fad diets is nutrient deficiencies. Remember, our body is a machine. We have to look at all these components of it. Are we doing our body more harm than good by trying to get quote unquote skinny or losing weight? So with these high protein diets, did you know that your body can only absorb 25 to 35 grams of protein at a given meal?
You said that last week. Now, Ashley, please, sorry to take you back. For the uninitiated, there's a dude who's listening to you like, okay, this is serious. But what is protein?
So, good call. So protein foods would be like meat, cheese, eggs, fish, beans, lentils.
Sharp.
Nuts, seeds, yogurt, milk, those sorts of things. Yep. So people really emphasize on that, right? Because they're like, let me load up on this, skip the carbs. But then again, they're overeating. So for instance, in 100 grams of meat, a red meat, there's going to be about 30 grams or more of protein there. So that's all you need. But then these people go excessive. Let me add egg to this. Let me add beans to this. I got to go high protein. I'm working out now.
Yes.
Even when they make the protein shakes, right? They're like, 2 scoops of protein, better than 1. But 1 scoop already has 25 grams. Then they add milk for another 8 grams. Then they add Greek yogurt for another 20 grams. So we're way over. And guess what? It is not humanly possible to absorb more protein than 25 to 35 grams. I don't care what supplement you're taking. I don't care what powder you're taking. That is fact. So your body can only absorb so much at a given time. So that is, again, why you need to measure it out throughout the day and have regular intervals. So you overwhelm the body. And there can be some toxic byproducts of protein breakdown that our body is meant to handle. Our kidneys and liver, they're awesome at detoxifying. However, they are going to get overwhelmed with all this excess protein, and it can cause issues like gout, high uric acid, and then eventually liver and kidney damage. So I always ask, are you doing more harm than good by trying to lose weight? And I feel bad for people because a lot of times they're doing this with really good intentions and they aren't aware of this, right? And they think they're going to a proper practitioner or reading a proper article or whatever the case. So that's my biggest issue with that is we're overdoing something. It always comes back to the balance. And then I have to ask, is that enjoyable? Are you enjoying eating like that?
We actually enjoy.
Really?
But there's a question here. So when you talk about 25 grams,
yes,
does it mean that within 8 hours you need to consume another 25 grams? Or are you talking, what are we talking about here?
So good question. So what I mean is we have 3 meals in a day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah? So we're going back to last session, I said we don't skip meals. We eat all of our meals and all of our snacks. So ideally you would have 25 to 35 grams of protein at breakfast, another amount at lunch, and that same amount at supper. And in between, you would have another 5 to 10 grams at our snacks. So we're able to meet our protein goal of 100 to 150 grams a day, depending on who you are, what your goals are, what your activity looks like. Not 100 grams at one go in your protein smoothie.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. And then the protein foods vary in their protein amount. Yeah? So like 1 egg, people are like, I had 1 egg for breakfast, there's so much protein. There's only 5 grams in 1 egg. You see?
see.
So we
Okay,
have to be
okay,
mindful at
okay.
how protein dense our protein foods actually are. Yeah. So again, people tend to overdo it on the high protein and the low carb sort of thing. So I get worried about that. The other thing too is then we're more likely to get constipated and have bad gut health because we're not having carbs to keep us regular. We're not having enough fruits and vegetables to keep us regular. We're not getting our vitamins and minerals. Remember, it's about the whole body, right? Now, are we eating fatty meat and fatty protein sources that are now increasing our cholesterol levels? So are we going to come out of it with 10 more problems? You know, so there's a lot of that. And then the other thing too, you know, when you're lowering carbs, you're not getting enough carbs, you will have more cravings for sweet things. That is your body's response to say, hey, we need energy from carbs. You're not giving us any. So those cravings get more intense. Again, it's your body talking to you. It's very, very smart.
So, Mariam, this was the one that you were on.
This was what?
The high protein diet. This is one that got.
Yes.
I like. You know, you chimed in. So yeah.
I do high protein diet.
Yeah.
But the difference I've seen when I'm doing the high protein diet is that I become leaner, which I like. You know, when I'm doing starch 3 times a day, I get a little bit of a pot belly.
So I would say I would look at the big picture and I would say, what carbs are you having? What is your overall caloric intake? What else are you doing in your day? What does your activity look like? Because carbs don't make you fat. Just like fat does not make you fat.
Okay.
So there's a lot of those sorts of things here too. And I'm not saying overdo it on the carbs. I'm saying a simple fist of carbs. And remember, especially as a woman, you need carbs. And if women skimp on the carbs, that creates a lot of stress on our body, raises our cortisol levels, makes it harder for us to lose weight, and can create hormone imbalances as well.
In all honesty, and I'm going to say that very many women reached out to me. I won't lie about that.
Yes.
So they were saying that every time they have more than 2, and we're talking about very small portions. I do about only 3 spoons of rice. Ugali, very small. I don't even like ugali. I don't eat chapati at all.
Yep.
So it's very small portions. But every time I indulge in this, maybe twice or thrice a day, definitely, I get that pot. And it's a feedback that I got from many women.
Is it bloating? Because a lot of times when people add carbs back in their diet, they feel bloated. And you know why that is? Because of the fiber. Because your body is not used to that fiber. And when you add more fiber, you need to add more water to get the bowel movements going, to have a stool, so that you're able to get rid of it. So a lot of times that is basically your body readjusting to carbs because you've been off them for so long. So I would actually expect that to happen. But then again, I would also ask you, is it refined carbs? Is it white rice? Is it white ugali? Is it white pasta? Is it white, those sorts of things, the white chapati? Because we should be doing whole grain. So I'm not just promoting any carb. I'm promoting the complex carbs, the whole grain carbs, and then the proper amounts. Again, it's that whole big picture, adding more water, things like that.
I like that. So I think because we didn't discuss this. So once we go through all these particular types of fat diets, for example, this one is high protein, right?
High protein.
Low carb.
So low carb, ne? So actually in 2 minutes, because we're going into the news.
Okay.
Ideally, high protein, low carb. What is the best way and the solution to this particular diet?
So what would I ever recommend this diet?
Yes.
No. Okay. It's a fat diet. So I would recommend adequate carbs. But again, when people think adequate carbs, they think high carbs. So a typical low carb diet is about 20 grams a day. I recommend about 40 grams of carbs per meal.
Right.
Yes. So I would again go back to that balanced diet, that balanced plate.
Okay. So okay, you've got something to say about that. You have thoughts.
Let's hear it.
After the news.
Okay.
You can't say anything that 1 minute.
Because another thing that people are trying to communicate with you is that you're talking to the normal mwananchi. So when you're talking about the whole grain and all that, there's also the aspect of affordability.
Which is what? Okay, what are the whole grains?
So she's talking about the brown rice, the brown bread, and all that. They're usually a little bit more expensive. Yes.
And millet, nini, such like this.
Yeah, like even sorghum, millet, the traditional uji. What about like the traditional ugali, where you literally take the corn and you go to the posh mill? That can't be more expensive.
Posh mills, where do you get them in Nairobi though?
No, okay, so you are talking about middle class problems.
Yes. 100% yes.
So now, but then from Ashley's point of view, it is kama weni mtu ambaye you are in the county edition. So clearly, if you're of the majority, so it's basically sacrificing there then. The middle class can actually sacrifice. Because then you're like, you know what, bring me unga from Shags.
So I think...
You know.
No.
No?
No.
So, okay, let's do the news first.
It's